Alright, so we now have 100 different samples here of an ID number, a ski style, the friction test, the torsion test, and then the total cost to inspect based on those two tests. And then, okay, so we've got a total of $277 here, and the average cost was $2.78 for each test. So that begs the question, so we have $2.78 per test, but there's 3 different styles of skis here. So, do you think that all the 3 different styles are about the same cost to test, or some more expensive than others, or I don't know, let's find out. So I've created another sheet here called ski type, and I've set it up where I want to look at the quantity of skis tested out of that 100 for the different types. So let's start off with that. So we come in here and say equals count if. So we need to select the range. So we come over here to the time and we highlight those 100 rows and then hit a comma, and now it's asking for the criteria. So the criteria is just whatever is in this cell here. So we have 27 A's. Now, test you a little bit. Got that cool formula, drag it down. It's like, okay, cool, formula worked, right? Maybe, maybe not. What happens if we count those? Or sum them, sorry. Oh, we only have 98. Thought we had 100. What's wrong? Ah, I see. I forgot when I counted down, I forgot to use the absolute reference in here to lock down our rows from B4 to B103. Now if I copy that formula down, there, I got 100. So I think I'm in a lot better shape than I was a second ago. Alright, now I want to test the average friction. I want to get the average of the friction test time for all type A's. Back in the good old days before Excel 2010, this is the way we had to do it. There's a program called SUMIF. It's asking for a range. Well, I could go over and highlight that range of cells again, but I get bored with that pretty quickly, and I like shortcuts. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to take all those cells, that 100 cell. Sounds like I'm going to need these same 100 cells over and over. So I'm going to rename that styles. Now over here in my formula, I can say equals SUMIF styles and use that as my range. My criteria is this cell, and then my sum range is this column here, the friction coefficient test. So there's 55, and then to do an average, I would say, okay, that sum of 55 divided by the count gives me 2.04. Alright, so that is my average if I calculate it using the good old-fashioned way. But with 2010, guess what? There's a formula that will actually do the average if. So now I want average if styles, the style type, the criteria is cell A3, and then I want to average this column here from C4 down to C103. So it was 2.04. Using the new average if formula, it's still 2.04. So now I have the same formula, or I have the right formula, and I want basically the same formula in all 9 of these cells. Let's see if my data will line up if I drag it across. I want the average friction time, the average torsion test time, and then the average cost. Do those 3 columns correspond to these 3? Friction test, torsion test, total cost to inspect. So these 3 columns match with these 3 columns, so I should, if I set up my absolute referencing right over here, I should be able to copy it across and down with a minimal amount of effort. So I want cell A3, and I don't want that to change as I drag it across, but I do want it to change as I drag it down, so I put the $sign in front of the A. On the other average columns, though, let's see, I want the average column to change, but I don't want the rows to change. So I'll lock those in place. Now, if I copy this formula across and down, and then let's put the cool border back around the whole thing, and I can do away with that temporary bit. So by looking at this, what did we just do? We now see that the average cost for style A is $353, E is $317, and R is $223. So the average cost to test all the style A's is significantly higher than the other two tests. So if we need to make some business decision based on that, we now can, because we've got it quantified.